Hello and welcome again to another podcast between Retirement Resource Guide and Retirement Living Associates we put together called Retire Wise. We're very happy about our guest today. Mary Bethel's with us, who brings a very distinguished career in aging across the state and in lots of things we're going to learn about. So thank you for joining me, and Mary Bethel, thank you very much for joining me. You want me to call you Mary or Mrs. Bethel? Or?
You call me Mary, it's
okay,
fine.
Mary is fine. Good. Well, you
funny,
call me David.
Being from the South, about half the people I know call me Mary Bethel.
Is that right? All together?
Rolls off their tongue, yeah.
Oh yeah, good. Well, we'll go with Mary. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you were born, and North Carolinian. And
yeah, I am a North Carolinian. I grew up in Berkeley County, northeastern part of the state, on a tobacco farm, and we raised hogs that had pastors and things like that. So it was a great background, great upbringing. I came to NC State and kind of didn't go home, except working in the summers, things of that nature there. But we moved to Virginia right after graduating from college, became a social worker. And then we wanted to move back to North Carolina, so we ended up back up in Raleigh.
What did you study at State? Was that for agriculture? Or?
It was not. It was recreation, therapeutic recreation.
Oh, wow.
So I actually worked at a rehab center.
Oh, nice.
You know, so then after we got back to State, I ended up going back to graduate school there too. So anyway, true Wolfpack fan.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I have a good friend who always says that Wolfpack fans lead the league every year in optimism.
Well, I'm afraid I'd have to agree with that.
That's a good thing, right? Whoever says that may want to imply the no reason for it, but nonetheless, optimism's good. So
it is. It's a good trait to have.
That's right. Tell me a little bit. I know you spent a long time in the North Carolina Division of Aging, so tell me about that. And
yeah, I kind of grew up in aging. When we came back to North Carolina in 1977, I kind of walked in off the street. No one's ever done this before, probably in state government, and said, "I'm back to North Carolina. I'm looking for a job, and I like older people." And that just led to a 30-year career with the state.
Wow.
And then after I spent 30 years there, I spent 10 years with ARP North Carolina, kind of helping with their advocacy work. And then retired from there and decided retirement wasn't for me, so I started basically doing a lot of volunteer work for North Carolina Coalition on Aging, which is an organization that had been around for a long time, but really was very informally organized, and at that point really felt, along with a lot of other people that had been around for a long time, that we needed to organize as an entity, as an aging community, to try to have more voice on issues. So
that's good.
I helped to get the coalition to become a private nonprofit, 501c3. I kind of served as their first executive director, and we've gone from there.
Well, you share with me, I got into this career of aging related in 1985, so a little bit after you.
Right.
But we've been looking for this whole baby boom and silver wave and all the terms everybody has over the years. We've had everything. It's here now.
It is.
So talk to me a little bit about that. I know you've been involved with a couple state programs. One in particular I find intriguing, All Ages, All Stages, and what that has meant and what all you're doing or accomplishing.
Exactly. So just a couple of comments relative to the aging baby booms that we find ourselves in. You know, you and I both got in this business when we were young folks, and now we fit the demographic. We have joined them, exactly.
That's right.
So North Carolina is a state that, if compared to other states, is the 9th most heavily populated, and we're very close to becoming the 8th most populated. We also
not aging, just population overall.
But also aging too. We're the state with the 9th highest rate of older people population-wise in the state.
Nice.
So right now, 1 in 5 North Carolinians are over the age of 65. And right now we've got 2 million people over 65. In 25 years, we're going to have 3 million people.
Wow.
So that's a pretty significant increase.
Yeah.
Right now, 88 counties in North Carolina have more people over the age of 65, over the age of 60, I'm sorry, than they do under the age of 18. And most of the counties that don't have this increase are those that have military installations or big educational institutions. So, you know, we're growing as a state.
It really is statewide, except for how that impacts it. That's
and another thing that really plays into this in North Carolina is immigration. Right now, we've got about 48,000 people over the age of 65 coming into North Carolina every year. And where I live, I see grandparents following their kids down here to so they can help take care of child care and just
Right.
be closer to grandkids, things of that nature. And I think we're just seeing a lot of folks come in. They like our educational institutions, they like our healthcare resources,
Sure.
and the climate. That's a big draw for folks coming in. And I think one of the most significant things is that the fastest growing segment of the whole aging population is the 85 plus.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly being in the business year, and I don't have to tell you that those in 85 plus are those that are more likely to need services and supports. So we
Yes.
need to make sure that we've got those. Right now we've got, I think it's almost like 186,000 people over the age of 85 in North Carolina. That's going to increase to 510,000 in the next
Wow.
25 years. That's a 174%
Yeah,
increase.
yeah.
So I digress a lot, but that's just to say that we are a state that needs to pay attention to this.
That's right. We have a lot to
Yeah.
adjust to and receive.
We do.
I think we've done a good job at some of that, but I know you also do a lot of work in advocacy and for legislation, things like that. So we're going to save that for another podcast. I
Okay.
want to keep talking a little bit more about the all ages, all stages.
Okay.
I happen to have printed out and looked a lot at a page you have about whole person wellness and
Yes.
healthy aging and can you speak to that or things y'all have
Sure.
been doing? I read a good bit. So.
Yeah, well, thank you, David. That's glad you did that.
Sure.
So it's exciting. In May of 2024, then Governor Cooper signed an executive order 280 that said that North Carolina needs to do all it can to ensure that this is a good state to age now and to continue to age well. And one of the things he called for was development of what is called a multi-sector plan on aging, and all hands on deck when it comes to government, ensuring that we accomplish that it's a good place to grow old. Basically he charged people in North Carolina to develop a plan that would be a roadmap, that would be a guide for how we're supposed to do that in North Carolina. So I had the privilege of being one of two people selected to be the co-lead for that, along with the director of the State Division of Aging. So from May of 2024 until September of 2025, we basically developed a process to get input and engagement of lots of folks in North Carolina about what we should do to ensure that we had a plan going forward. So about 250 people from all over the state got engaged in this process. Many meetings, many debates and dialogue regarding what's going on. As a result of that, we developed a plan called All Ages, All Stages NC. That plan was unrolled on September 27th of 2025.
Yeah, I knew it was brand new.
It is, and unfortunately, if you probably remember, also on September 27th, Hurricane Helene came through in North Carolina. So we unveiled the plan, and we were excited about it, but a lot of kind of the momentum we had took a little bit of a back seat, rightly so, because we were focused on Helene recovery. But the plan had 160 recommendations, and out of that,
Wow.
we realized there's no way you can tackle 160
No.
things to do at one time. So we identified 41 of those that would be priorities for the next 2 years that we wanted to work on. We formed 12 work groups that would take the lead in looking at all those things. And those work groups have been working since September, October of 2025 to now to begin the process of implementation. Now those work groups they're organized into 4 different segments for the work to begin. It's strengthening communities for a lifetime, optimizing health and well-being, supporting older adults and their families, and affording aging. And just to give you an idea of like how some of the work that's involved in things like strengthening communities for a lifetime, they've got kind of 4 major areas they're working on. Housing is a big one. I mean, I've been in this business a long time, and if you would ask people what are one of the biggest concerns you have, it used to be, I want to be able to ensure I can move around and have transportation when I get older. Now you ask people, what is your biggest concern? Is housing. I think it's not only making sure that you can age in place, that your home can be so that you can stay there and stay there safely, that you can afford the property taxes, that you can maintain it and do repairs, things of that nature. So housing is a big issue. One of the big areas that's coming out of the plan that we know we need to work on is the legislative issue. It's the issue of property taxes. Now, in some communities, it's not a big issue, but in communities where you have seen huge increases in
Right.
property taxes, and you've got somebody who lives in their house for decades, say 5 or
yeah.
6 decades, and the community is beginning to age a little bit. Homes are turning over. Sometimes people come in, buy those homes, and they tear them down and then build very, very expensive homes.
Oh, yeah.
And the tax rate just goes to the roof. And you've got folks, even of moderate income and low income, that cannot afford those property
I've
houses.
heard people say there's more and more occurrence of their property taxes what they paid for their house.
Yes,
And
exactly.
they've been there a long time for that to be true, but it still has occurred.
Right.
That's crazy.
Well, I guess to get in the weeds a little bit, why it's such a big issue is that North Carolina's property tax laws say that what needs to be done has to be done uniform across all counties in North Carolina. So what might work for Berkeley County, where I grew up, probably is not going to work in Wake County.
Right.
But if Wake County wanted to do something to help folks with property tax, they can't do it outside of what's already on the books. And there are some property tax relief programs that are out there. It's just that they aren't meeting the needs of a lot of folks. So that's a legislative issue.
Well, one thing I think y'all are doing a great job, and what I read and looked at, it's easy, not literally, but it's easier to create goals and visions and aspirations. But it's hard to then turn that into specifically what are we going to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you were getting ready to say. But you guys have done a great job, I think, of saying let's turn that into tangible what to do.
Yeah, and you, like me, I'm sure you've seen all these plans and things that have been developed for many, many years, and a lot of them are, sitting on desk.
Hypothetical and sitting, yeah.
Yeah, I actually had a friend the other day told me he was in a meeting and somebody they had a squeak in the door, and somebody went to the bookshelf and pulled out something just to wedge the door. It was a plan.
Oh, really?
That had been done by somebody. Yeah, but just to be finish up kind of the strengthened communities for a lifetime.
Sure.
Another area is adult protective services. We had the first adult protective service law in the country in 1975.
Huh.
We have not updated it. And if you want to protect people from abuse, neglect, and exploitation, it's a different world out here today than it was in 1975.
Absolutely.
We also looked at things like digital equity and digital connectivity. Right now, you cannot exist in this world without a lot of hassles if you don't have a computer, if you don't have an email address. Even Social Security has gone to setting up an account. And unfortunately, we've got an issue right now where Social Security has changed the providers that deal with their security systems. People have to reapply if they get a new account if they didn't have one, if they had one prior to sometime in the last couple of months. And also, they've gone to this validation of who you are.
Right.
And a lot of people, they aren't used to having to validate their ID.
That's right. And text messaging and all of that.
And then the last area is they want to look at these factors that also impact your health, like transportation, nutrition, things of that nature. So that's just an example of what one of the groups is doing.
I want to go back to one topic, maybe as we start to wrap up, or anything else you want to add. But something I find intriguing is early in my career, people would talk about staying home and changing their home so they could stay home. And while I wasn't opposed to that, we were building communities for them to move to. So it was a little bit of a, back and forth with, well, yes, it's nice to be able to stay home, but we have built a place you might really like. Today, as you know, I read just the other day that in April of 2026, some estimate that the retirement industry nationwide will be the most occupied it has ever been. So even if I wanted to keep advocating for move to a retirement community or not, there's not enough retirement communities to move to.
Exactly.
And so that's a whole nother variable to say, do I want to stay in my home? It may become I have no choice but to stay in my home. It changes that dynamic a lot.
Yeah, and that's one of the things this plan wants to do. We want to make sure that people can live where they choose to live to the extent possible, that we have that continuum of care in every county in North Carolina to the extent possible. If you want to stay in your home, there's services and supports there to help you if you want to stay there. If you want to go to assisted living, if you need rehab, you need skilled nursing care, those sources are there. But there are a lot of things that play into this, like workforce. Do we have enough workers to help people, whether they stay at home or whether they go into a skilled nursing facility or wherever?
Especially as you go more rural.
Exactly.
Where the caregivers historically are not staying rural, so it makes it
tough. Does. It makes it real tough. So there are a lot of challenges, lots of opportunities, but challenges also.
It's a good way to look at it. Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
I appreciate all that you're doing. I have watched, as I said, I've read some of the stuff and read, seen some of YouTube videos about it. So I would encourage anyone who wants to know more to keep looking, Googling more about Mary Bethel. Our Retire Wise will have some links back and forth. Retirement Resource Guide has done some wonderful videos and resources too along this about care. I think they have even a whole series called Care in the 20s versus Care Today, which is
Exactly.
it's been good to read.
And if anybody wants to get involved, we're in the implementation phase now. If anybody wants to get involved, go to the website for the North Carolina Division of Aging.
Okay.
And on their homepage, if you go down just a little bit, you will see a segment that says All Ages, All Stages NC. It gives you a lot of background information, but also the opportunity to volunteer.
Good, good. All right, well, we've done several podcasts that include a recruit for volunteers, so that's a great thing.
Exactly.
So thank you very much. It's
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.